Alright. Oh, fucking gotta get all sorts of notifications now on this phone. Should have got this sorted before I started the live stream, but didn't even realise that I was going to be doing a live stream. It's not a proper live stream. It's just, as it says, a quick Polish lager in the chat. And to save the hassle of recording and uploading a beer review or video, and taking up too much space on my phone, I thought I'd do a bit of a live stream because the dust has settled from the London Craft Beer Festival. Yes, I need to clean that glass. Hi Thomas, hope you're doing okay. Are you doing your interview stream tonight? I need to catch up on some of those. But yeah, it's just a bit of a general chit chat, really. Bit of a wanky couple of weeks, to be honest. I'm not going to get into it because it's pointless. But yes, today's been a bit weird. In fact, the last couple of days have. But you know what? In the words of Seaside Mark, every day we're above ground is a great day. And that's utter bullshit, by the way. But yeah, I'm not here to fucking moan because I've done enough of that today. Jesus Christ. Yeah, make some realizations about a few things recently. Yeah, Chris Butcher. I doing Chris the Butcher tonight. Not doing Chris the Butcher because I don't think you can broadcast stuff like that on YouTube. But that was a terrible, terrible attempt at a joke. At least I've got my other phone going now, so I can read comments on the fly. So yeah, was at the London Craft Beer Festival last weekend with Craig, aka Kent Beer Reviews, and Harry, aka Blue Nose Beer Reviews, and had a wonderful time. Not only at the festival, but going to various spots around London. On the Thursday, we all met up. We did go to the hotel straight away, but or did we? I can't remember. Yeah, we did because we wanted to get our keys and stuff, and didn't want to walk around with all the shit. Even mate, I've had a bit of a shit time too. Things looking up now, though. I hope to get to touch your face in the flesh sometime soon. Right back at you, Jake. Hope you're doing well. I know, obviously, not my place to discuss anything like that, but I hope what was going on, as I said, is looking up, and it was a real shame that, due to that, you weren't able to come down to not come down because you live relatively close to London, to the festival, but there's going to be a next time. Definitely will. But yeah, I hope you and yours are doing okay, my friend. Getting messages on my other phone. Look at that. It's all these notifications popping. I fucking hate Huawei because of that. But then again, it does it on here as well, so I turn notifications off. So people are messaging me on Messenger, I'm not getting back to. But yeah, there will be plenty of moments that we can both touch each other's faces, and I very much look forward to that. But yeah, London Craft Beer Fest was amazing. I think Craig did a live stream last night. I think he's pretty much covered all of this anyway, as well as some of his own stuff and plans for today because he's in Nottingham. Don't know if that was supposed to be a Nottingham accent, but yeah, the Nottingham Craft Beer Festival, and met up with the wonderful Raggy and shot a review in his man cave. So yeah, Craig's had a heavy few weekends on the old ale, or as we like to call it, tonic water. I don't know if that's ever alcohol's been referred to as tonic water before, but mind you, you can get alcoholic pretty much tonic water now. I think that's just sparkling water. But yeah, before I get into the London stuff, here's picked up a 4-pack of this because I've not seen it before in my local Eastern European / Baltic shop. And I don't know, it just stood out to me. Bosman, Szczeciński, full, and this is this a Pilsner? I don't know. 500ml can. ABV on this is, if I could find it, and just spill it all over the floor, Peter. Well done. Should have done that before you opened it. 5.7. So I don't think it is a Pilsner. I'll just use these boxes from yesterday. God, I've got like a bedroom of a snotty teenager. I swear to God. But yeah. So thought I'd pick up a nice 4-pack. Picked up some pumpernickel bread, some garlic fluffy cream cheese, as well as these gorgeous, I shared on Instagram, these gorgeous sort of like, you know, German Lebkuchen. I don't know if it is gingerbread like Lebkuchen, but it's got the same texture and very similar taste. And it's like glazed, but it's got poppy. I think it's got like poppy on the outside and also a filling of poppy. And I tell you what, they're bloody lovely. So yeah, I've not had pumpernickel for a while. Why am I talking about those sorts of exploits? Let's get back onto London. So we get to London, all meet up. We all tongue each other vigorously. I met up with Harry first, and we went to the Fuller's pub that's at Paddington, and I had a pint of London Pride, and I'd forgotten how. I imagine it had a strange taste to it at first, but then it became remarkably familiar. I've not had London Pride for ages. Hope everything is okay, Jake, says James. Thomas. See, we're a good community, us. We really are. And that's I'm gonna mention that towards the end of the London exploits. So met up with Harry, had a quick pint, then got on the tube, met up with Craig, was already at the hotel, and we met up, got all settled, and then we went into London. Not necessarily Shoreditch, but near Shoreditch. Geography is never my good point. I don't have many strong points in general, to be honest. So we went there. Loads of vintage clothes shops, by the way. Like vintage clothes shops next to vintage clothes shops. Further down the road, vintage clothes shops. And then a little bit further, a whole hall of different vintage clothes shops. So I bet I'd have I could probably spend ridiculous amounts of money because I'd imagine London vintage clothes shops are like going to like Urban Outfitters or something. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, loads of like vintage clothes shops and loads of like Asian, Indian, all sorts of different sorts of restaurants with men stood outside getting scanned. I've never seen that before. I feel like the wood mouse who went to the city. What's that story about that mouse who lived in the woods who went to the city to visit his like cousin who's a street mouse? I can't remember. Is that one of like Aesop's fables? Probably not. So yeah, it was a nice. Reminds me of Manchester a bit, obviously. Of course, everything reminds me of Manchester. All those parties. And our first stop was the Kill the Cat bottle shop. Had a quick, cheeky lager. Can't remember who it was. I think it was. Oh, what are they called now? It was on tap. A fairly sort of newish lager brewery. Forgot what they're called, but when they first like started doing releases, both Jake and Craig got like the multi-pack where you get the glass. What are they called? I can't remember. So that was nice. And while we were there, picked up a can of. This is why I should probably use Untapped a lot more, so I can actually log beers that I've consumed on trips. It was called Good Ideas from First Sphere Check, which was like a pecan Imperial Stout. It had something else in it, can't remember. Gorgeous. Not had a stout from a Force check before. It was really good. Not too overly sweet or anything like that. Just the right amount of sort of like adjunct, so it's not silly, but it's interesting. I've got slightly emo hair today. It's been a bit of an emo day, to be honest. But I need to get this cut really badly. It's doing my fucking tits in. It's at that point now where it doesn't matter what you do to it, it just like flumps back to a bouffant of Boris Johnson. But I was actually surprised I didn't get Boris Johnson said to me a lot more than I did when I was in London. It was mainly just louts at the London Craft Beer Festival. And I should have used that to my advantage, get some free beers in different venues and stuff. Or probably get the shit kicked out of me from very heavily Labour regions of London. But by the sounds of it, I think a lot of Tories would kick the shit out of anyone who supports Boris Johnson. That's another story. So I forgot what I was getting at. Yeah, went to the Kill the Cat. We just want to pop in because they were about to do sort of like a tasting. So we obviously didn't want to be in the way. Lovely little bottle shop, great merchandise. Wish I'd have picked something up now. And a really nice selection of stuff. It's amazing. I've noticed this, just how much Daya is around nowadays. Just cans and cans of Daya, and they had the barley wine. For the most part, it had that sort of like classic, oh, this is London price, even for a bottle shop for certain stuff. But then again, you get some stuff, it's like any bottle shop in any sort of place where it's like, sometimes you'll see one beer that's priced way too high. And then sometimes you'll see a beer, that same beer somewhere else, that's like, that is dirt cheap. But I've got a few comments. Craig H says, evening. Evening to you, sir. Don's Beer Review says the town mouse and the country mouse, there we go, is indeed an Aesop fable. See, I'm not that dumb. And he says hi, and then also first thought was Tom and Jerry. Not watched Tom and Jerry for a while. I'm not pouring my beer, by the way, because the next glass is, well, I might as well talk about it now. So Kill the Cat, lovely little bottle shop. Not much space to sit in, but you know, if you get to know the guys who run it, I suppose it'd be a really good sort of like local, meet-up point. And they're really nice in there as well. Although I'm not the chattiest of our group. Do you know what I mean? But yes, that was nice. Then we went to probably one of my absolute highlights of the trip, aside from the Craft Beer Festival. And that was the Mikkeller Bar London, where I picked up this lovely and still wet, even though it's been in my cabinet, Mikkeller glass. I paid for it. I didn't liberate it. And yeah, as someone who is a little bit of a Mikkeller fanboy, even though there's a lot of shit going around about Mikkeller, more specifically Mikkel himself on some various Instagram accounts about like how he is, how he treats and his affiliations with certain people. And they had some legitimate points when you look at the evidence and stuff. You can say, I can't remember the person's Instagram, but they're talking about different breweries and different people from different breweries. And there was a lot of like legitimately like, oh, that's a bit odd. But then they used like that clip from, I can't remember if it was a Vice documentary from quite a few years ago where they followed Mikkel around, and they like tried to make a big point out of the fact that he's gone on record multiple times saying he has no interest in the brewing process. He doesn't like that sort of thing. And of course, what an empire he's built. Not just in Copenhagen, but around the world now. Mikkeller bars left, right, and centre. They need one in Manchester though, or Liverpool. I don't know why they've not put one there. Flock to the north, Mikkeller. I'd be interested to see what sort of like Keith Shaw style art they do for a Manchester pub, because you've got like all that happy, hard, Madchester sort of stuff. Should you imagine that, a Madchester themed Mickler bar in Manchester? But yeah, it was an absolute fucking joy to go to Mickler. We didn't go to the brew pub in Exmouth Market though. I think we were talking about doing it on a Sunday, but we had changed plans, which is absolutely fine because we went to some fantastic places on Sunday as well. So while I was at Mickler, I had some of the Chipotle Porter, which I've already reviewed, I think, because I got a big bottle of it when I was in the Mickler Beer Club. Used some of it in a chili as well, which was chef's kiss, by the way. Sorry, Jacob, stealing one of your signatures. Maybe Neon Raptor might make a beer inspired by you, sir. I mean, if a brewer was to make a beer about me, I'd like to be one of the most dullest lagers ever, and you know, because I'm the YouTube's most boring beer reviewer. But yeah, anyway, so I had the Chipotle Porter, which was just absolutely banging. I think I had a pale from Mickler, can't remember the name, an IPA, can't remember the name, and because they were doing the Duration tap takeover, I think I had some of that. Was it the Duration and Daya collab? But I wanted to focus on the Mickler stuff. Very tempted to pick up something out of the fridge, but I didn't, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't pick up a Mickler Bar London t-shirt. But yeah, cool little place. And they're working with like a local pizza place as well, so you can have them delivered direct to the bar. But funny enough, no pizza was consumed the whole weekend, which will be a shock because the next place we went to was Goose Island's Brew Pub. And I think what they must do is, like a lot of beer venues nowadays, they must have like different sort of food vendors take residency for like a few months or so. Because I know Craig and Jake were going on about how lovely their pizzas were. But when we went there, they were doing burgers. Can't remember who the people were producing the burgers, but that was a good burger. And it had a really nice smoky taste, had a nice level of moistness, tenderness. Had some nice dirty fries as well there. So that was good. Can't remember what beers I drank really. I think I went for like sort of like simple Goose Island stuff you don't really see in sort of like the brew pub side of things. I think a couple of the Mickler beers that I had at the bar were brew pub beers. But yeah, so that was good. And then we got some barley, like I think it's like, was it a 2018 vintage of one of their barley wines? And that was lovely. So we capped off the night with that, and then went back to our hotel room. Did a live stream. Both live streams that I appeared on Harry's channel. I'm lying on the bed in the most unflattering of angles. But it is what it is, folks. You can't complain about stuff like that when you're a bigger sort of person. So let's see what comments we've got. Geordie's Beer Review says, "Hey Peter, happy Friday, dude." Hi Geordie, hope you're doing okay, my friend. Hope all is good for you. Dean, the legend that is, Dean's Beer Reviews, says, "Hello Peter, hope you're doing well." I'm not doing too bad, thank you, Dean. Hope you're doing well. We need to do a catch-up or a live stream at some point and get a meet-up. Well, mind you, are you coming to are you going to Harry's in November? That should be a good meet-up. That I'm trying to be sensible and not really go to too many places or spend too much on beer until then. I've got nothing planned up to that point. I think there's a couple of events somewhat locally that Adam's told me about, so there may be a couple of outings here and there. Because I know Wigan Central doing something like a Dank Fest or something like that. Let's see. Thomas says hi to Dean, and then Dean says hi back, and then Sam, good day to yourself, sir. And then Ale Degustation says, "Bosman is a regional beer and hard to acquire in other parts of Poland than Pomerania. Oh, very interesting. So something of a bit of a rarity then. Good evening to you, by the way, sir. It's been a while. Been a while. Do you know what? That's a pretty damn good little beer, that. Simple, crisp. Gets the job done. And looks pretty nice in this Mikkeller glass. Which I genuinely thought would have got smashed. In fact, no glasses were smashed on this trip, which is a rarity. And I was dreading when I got back home to open my suitcase and find just fragments of glass everywhere. I did drop a glass though while I was at the festival. Didn't smash, so that doesn't count. It's clumsy, but it didn't count. So Goose Island was really good. And it's a shame the sort of like representation in the UK is rather generically brewed core range stuff. I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to find, cans and bottles of interest and stuff. I know some of the like wild beers can be found. And of course, the stuff you get in Morrison's and Tesco's. But it was nice and very well brewed beer. I love the concept of brew pubs. I really, really do. So that was good. So I went back to the hotel, crashed. Friday was probably the worst hangover that I had. No, yeah, fine, because it was Thursday evening. It was hard to get the dates. I wanted to say we went from Friday to Sunday, but we went from Thursday to Sunday. So Friday, first day of the festival. Had to start off with a McDonald's, obviously. Luckily, where our hotel was, it was about a 5, 10, 15-minute walk from the tobacco docks, which is an absolutely perfect and fantastic venue for a beer festival. Throughout the 2 days we were there, it was still a little bit hard to navigate, just because of the layout. To me, it's like two identical, like 2-floor layouts next to each other. So the brewery that was on like in the middle part on like the floor, on the ground level, you'd be like, look, where's that brewery gone? But then you think, oh no, it's on the other side. I wouldn't be able to tell you what beers I drank because I was just drinking some really good beers. I think the only sort of like not bad beer but boring beer I had was a beer from Alphabet. And I really want to give Alphabet a proper chance, so I might make like a very minimum order so I can get, free postage. So yeah, Friday was good. We spent a good portion of it at the Brewers Association bar, the American bar, because there was like loads of rare cans and bottles and breweries, so you just don't see. And if you saw the bottles, you'd be paying like 50, 60, 40 to 60 quid for a lot of the stuff. Had some really good imperial stouts. Harry had this gorgeous imperial lager, which was just beautiful. Part of me though was like, I don't really want to just focus on this. And it's sort of weird, isn't it? You have these sort of like rules that you want to set yourself. Like, I don't really want to opt for that sort of stuff because I can get that in cans everywhere. But then again, you see like a brewery who you know and love, and then you even see like a beer that you've had plenty of times. So it's like, do you know what? I'm proper in the mood for that. Because I was like, Joe, I'm not going to go to Dale or Verdon. Don't need to. Mikkeller, we were there yesterday. Why would I want to have a Mikkeller beer? But of course, had a Verdant beer, had a Day beer, and of course had a Mikkeller beer. I was gutted. I'm not going to do these day by day, by the way, for the festival. It's got to be clumped into one. I was gutted though with the Mikkeller bar because the stand, because they had on the second day on the Saturday. It was initially supposed to be 3 days, but they cancelled the Sunday. So I still need to arrange my Sunday session to be used at a different festival next year. I'm not sure what I'll use it on though. I mean, ideally, I'd prefer a refund, but yeah, it's a bit of a shit show. We talked about the shit show of the that side of things on the run up to the festival itself. Not necessarily down to the organisers. I know they're a really small team, and they did an absolutely fantastic job with the festival in London. I can't fault it really at all. But like the money side of things with the people who are using to like sell industry tickets, you just couldn't get a refund at all. You could really only have your like tickets deferred, which is a real shame because I can imagine there'd be quite a few people who, due to different circumstances, not necessarily all related to the C word, who wouldn't be able to go to the festival. But part of me was actually glad there wasn't a Sunday session, because 2 sessions each day, it's a fucking heavy affair. It really, really is. I mean, thankfully, the fills are only up to the taste line. I mean, some breweries more generous than others where you get a full glass, which under the usual circumstances, I'd be like, oh, thank you. But when you're going to be drinking all day from literally like 11 till 11, with an hour in between each session, it gets a bit much, even if you're only having little sips. And Craig did say, try and adopt the technique of just having a few little sips or enjoying a little bit of the beer and then just pouring the rest away so you can go to the next one. I think I did that twice on both days, on like the whole duration of the festival. But yeah, we had a bit of a journey trying to track down the Fuller's Vintage Ale, the 2021 edition, because they had that on cask. And it was just, we couldn't find the place where it's supposed to be at. And the ironic thing is, we'd been in that room like a few times, looked at the breweries that were in there, and thought, I'm not really in the mood to try anything from the likes of those. I'm not going to name the breweries because I don't like shaming breweries and like saying, I'm not a fan, even though I just did that about Alphabet. But that was just one beer that I've had from them. I've had a few in like the past few years. But I've never really delved too much into Alphabet, so I'm not gonna, shit on a brewery or mention them in a sort of like snide way, unless they do something that annoys me or affects me. But yeah, so the breweries that are in this same room, I mean, we had a few beers from them, from some of the breweries on Sunday, but aside from that, I'm like, nah, I'm not really too interested in that. But because of that, we missed the Fuller's Vintage Ale, and then we found it on the Sunday session. And but Craig did rightly say that it's still a very young beer. For a beer like that, you are intended to keep hold of the bottle for years down the line. I've tried to do that with the last couple of vintages, bought 2 bottles of each, just end up drinking both. But I found it to be, I don't think the other 2 found what I found, but it was like, it's got a little bit of diacetyl in it. It was all right. I could imagine it would age nicely. Not like hoppy, like was it last year's or the years before, where it's like, why would you put hops that like variation in a beer that is intended to age? But it was all right. Yeah, it was nice. It was good to be able to try it though. I'd still probably buy this year's vintage when it's released, or has it already been released? I don't know. So that was good. That was a highlight, even though the beer itself I wasn't the biggest fan of. I've had better vintage ales and drinking them fresh, because I've never been able to actually age a vintage ale because I'm terrible at aging beers. It gets to that point where if like we're doing live streams or anything like that and I've not got any beer, that's when I'll crack open. Well, it's not the highest of ABVs. I'll just drink it now when I should be saving it. But I had some really good beers from Braybrook. Just great lagers. Even though I've already done a review of it, I really wanted to have more of the barbecue Hellers, which is their sort of like their take on like a Schlenkerla Rauchbier Märzen. Even though I don't think it was really a Märzen beer, but that's what I got from it. That was tasting good. I had the was it Noble Pills, and I think the Hellers. They were supposed to be pouring one or two beers from Marsbräu out of Germany, who I've always wanted to try, but unfortunately they didn't. They didn't say why, but they weren't able to actually get the beer. So I'd imagine there was, a bit of an issue there getting that beer ready. And it was a shame because I was really looking forward to trying that. Speaking of lagers, had some absolute bangers from New Barns, who are one of my favourite new breweries. And I was talking to, I'm not sure what his role is at the brewery. He did say his name, completely forgotten. So I do apologise. Don't know if they're... Oh, God, excuse me. Don't know if they're watching. Although they have been watching my beer reviews because I had a little bit of an awkward moment. Well, it was funny, but it just... You know when you have those moments and you think, I should really be careful of what I say. Because when I went to I think the first... What was the first beer that I had? I can't remember. But as they were pouring, it's like... He just like said, "Oh, by the way, we really, really thought your review was really funny." I can't remember which beer I said this in. And I was like, "Oh yeah." And it's like, "Yeah, the one where you said you loved the beer so much, you wanted to stick the can up your ass." I was like, "Oh God!" I momentarily died inside, but then I thought that's actually pretty funny, and it was humbling the fact that they'd actually watched the review and enjoyed it. Even though I'm not the best when it comes to people coming up to me and saying, "Oh, by the hi, clueless drinker." It doesn't happen often, by the way. Thank fuck, because I'm terrible with stuff like that. I remember once a girl from MySpace years ago who I was friends with awkwardly came up to me whilst I was waiting for my train home, whilst a friend from high school was with me. I was like, this is awkward as fuck. I probably could have got a shag, but who knows? From what I remember, she was quite a fit emo girl, but I think I must have been about 16, 17, so I'm not going to let that train of thought continue because that's wrong. And even though I've got hair like Jimmy Savile, I don't opt for that sort of stuff. What did he just say about being careful what he says when he's doing beer reviews? Even a woman in work today watched my last Libido Medium podcast when I didn't realise one of the trailers I was showing had full frontal female nudity and a woman being backslapped by a man. But it is what it is. So people do watch us. Do you know what I mean? So it is humbling, but it's also like, oh God, what if someone comes up to me and starts talking to me when I'm not prepared to talk to anyone while I'm out? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so they were awesome. The two guys and the girl who were at the stand. I was talking to them for a little bit. Had the that is it? What was it called? Strong dark beer. They're like stout. Oh my God, that was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. I need to pick up a can of that if it's still floating about. I think I might have also had. I had the Hannah, which is like a Heller's lager, if I remember correctly. I had the porter, like a dry porter, I think it's called. That was nice. And then they had the Mosaic table beer on, which to me is one of the best table beers I've ever drank in my life. Beautiful stuff. So yeah, I need to get more stuff from New Barns, and now that Don Zoco is think pretty much is Donzoka Brewing, Reese from Donzoka Brewing on the same kit as that, or are they just like sort of situated next to each other? I'm not too sure, but yeah. And Donzoka, ironically, were on the other side, but I didn't have anything from Donzoka. So yeah, New Barns were really good. Had the Imperial Bueno Shake. That was a standout beer from Unbarred. It was a standout beer because Harry poured his fill into mine, and then I ruined the beer because we met up randomly frequently with Roscoe from Roscoe and Disco. He was going about his business, like filming stuff. He filmed. He was like filming it. I'm not sure if. Slight interruption there. Good acting as well. My niece is staying over and she's having a bath and a bath bomb. So, where was I? What was I talking about? Unbarred. Yeah, Roscoe. At the festival. He did a really fun video with the Budvar guys on how to pour like the perfect Budvar. And he even gave me the Budvar glass, which was I appreciate stuff like that. Those little sort of like tokens. It's a nice glass as well. In fact, let me get it. Let me get it, folks. In fact, I'll get the glasses that I acquired whilst on my trip. There is one downstairs, which is sort of like a small snifter glass, which I can't tell you where and how I acquired that one because all I'll say is, and you got a nice shot of the crotch there. Almost got like a Ramones hairstyle going on. Oh, look at the breasts. But yeah, this is the glass, so I can now pour myself an authentic Czech Pilsner. So I've got a nice Czech Pilsner glass. It's fucking heavy though. You could really cause some damage. But yeah, picked up. I left one of my session glasses in Harry's hotel room, but you're freezing off. It's good to have these glasses, you know, when you've got people around. You need to clean them when you've got people around, or if you're going somewhere, so you can have some tasters. And then obviously I've got this Goose Island glass. I won't comment on that one because the small snifter glass may or may not have come from the same place, but they're a big conglomerate anyway. They can afford to replace glasses. It's not like it's an independent bar, really, is it? That's a terrible attitude to have, but we all liberate glasses. Let's be honest. I shouldn't really admit to that on camera, but hey ho, it is what it is. Let's see. Catch on the comments. Dean says, not sure, matey. Always up for a live, mind you. Yeah, we'll have to get that sorted, Dean. We'll have a look at some beers because I might make an order from somewhere, and we'll see what we can come up with. Goldrake, good evening, sir. You absolute lout, you. So looks like you had a heavy session recently. Hope you're doing well. What lager are you drinking, matey? I am drinking Bosman from Poland. Picked up a 4-pack at my local Eastern European shop. I don't know what the proper term is, because I hate when people say, "Oh, I went to a Polish shop." It just sounds really ignorant when you say that. Let's see. And we've got James Rodwell. Oh, I've skipped a comment. Sorry, James. Adam Whitaker says, have you had any Chain House Brewery stuff yet? I had their collaboration with Rivington, which was that Evil Dead 2, or is that one of Rivington's own? But aside from that, not had much. I think I've had a couple, but not one of their own beers. But from what I've had, I have enjoyed. Evening, Adam, by the way. The legend that is James Rothwell says, hey up, James. We are long overdue a drink in Manchester at some point. By the way, are you going to that day takeover at Society in Manchester? I'm tempted to go on the Saturday, but that being said, my brother's band are having a gig in the evening back here locally. So I don't know if I'd be able to make it and have enough time drinking, but you can drink fast, I suppose. Goldrake says, all day been smoking JPS whilst Boston and Smiths are drinking. It's the future. It certainly is. I got made aware of a really good live rendition of Some Girls Are Bigger Than Others on Spotify. And it's got quite possibly some of Johnny Marr's just most perfect guitar playing on it. Oh yeah, and the Jam too, of course. And maybe Time of Beer or maybe Water. I'll leave that decision up to you. I'm not making anyone make any bad choices. Evening PT yet again, says Brett, Beardy Beer Reviews. Evening, sir. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Still got 2016 in my shed, says Dean. I bet that's going to taste nice. I'm at my local beer and food festival Sunday, but that's going ahead as it's partly outside and weather's looking shite. That'd be so fucking sad, wouldn't it? After all the shit we've been through, a festival has to either postpone or cancel because of the shitty British weather. Well, I hope that goes ahead for you because that sounds really good. We've got Rory. All right, Peter. I was seriously jealous of those burgers you had the other day. Fucking hell, man. I've not talked about the best burgers yet that we had. They were just legitimately, we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but legitimately the best burger I have ever had. Genuinely. Godric, yeah, it's been on very heavy this week. 50 pints at least weekend. We were going heavy because my mates were into USA. Can't think of a better reason why you'd consume a lot of pints. And I hope you had a wonderful time. And I wish him the best of luck on his new life in America. Joe says, sup, man. Sup, Joe. Hope you're doing okay. I love the Smiths, says Goldrake. They get a lot of hate for pretty much no reason. I think they get a lot of hate because of what Morrissey has sort of become now on like a personal level. Because didn't they, like, was it Liverpool, like one of the train stations or the rail network in Liverpool as a whole removed posters of his promoting his tour at the time because of like comments he said. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? He said some stupid stuff, don't get me wrong, but we all do, and I think people should be allowed to say shit. We're not getting into that discussion now. But I think that's why people like them. And it's going to sound so fucking emo now, but I found a new appreciation for the music of the Smiths and the lyrics of Stephen Morrissey through heartbreak. And the Smiths just hit a little bit differently if you're going through some stuff. And it's very relatable. Joe says, I enjoy Small Cherry and the spin of the Cheeky Girls. You cheeky boy. Rory says, I'm off to Reading tomorrow. Hopefully I'll head to Siren and Phantom. Should be good. I'd love to go to Siren. I would love to go to Reading as well. Are you going with Harry? Or is that a different time where you're both going to Reading? I'd like to go to Reading. Godric, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was a blast. Quality beer and smoking roll-ups and blasting music. It can't get any better. You sound like you're from a Shea Meadows film, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, the burgers. Fuck my mouth. Well, that's essentially what the burger did. It fucked my mouth as I was eating it. And that's such a grotesque thing to say about a burger. Oh, Harry couldn't make it. He's working. That reminds me, I have to get in touch with Harry for reasons that will become apparent as we talk about the closing stages of the festival. But yeah, Bleecker Burgers. They were at the festival. The burgers were so good that we had them twice. Not on the same day, although I could have easily done that. It was just like a simple, like, double cheeseburger though, and it was like sort of like it was still pink in the middle, which I'm all about. I think the first time that I had a burger that was a little bit rare was at Byron Burgers years ago, and I never had a burger that was like still a tiny bit pink in the middle. But fuck me, man. If you're a picky eater, you're probably not going to enjoy them when you take a bite and you see a little bit of pink. But I tell you what, man, just juice central in the bottom of the styrofoam casing that the burger was housed in. It was like, right, the burger was self-sourcing. Take a bite of it, you get all this juice in the bottom of the container, and then you just soak it up with the burger that's already moist. Fuck, man. Absolute game changer that was. That was just beautiful. No messing around, just a well-made burger. Other food that we had, I mean, love what they called. I can't remember. Bear me 1 second. There are a couple of pies in the oven that I need to tend to. That sounds like it's code for like something that's just happened, but it's not. Whilst I was muted, I was asked if I'd look after some pies in the oven. So if you bear me 1 second, I need a refill anyway. Wasn't intended on having another beer. Was only intending this to last about 20 minutes, but it is what it is. It's Friday. I'm working tomorrow anyway, but who cares? I'm only going to have a couple of beers tonight. But yeah, so if you just bear with me for a couple of minutes, I'm going to check on the pies. I'm going to actually take a couple of these glasses down to get cleaned properly and get myself another beer. So be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I know it's only men who watch this channel, but who am I to judge? All right, folks. That's a stupid thing to do on my videos, isn't it? By the way, this is the snifter that I acquired. What a gorgeous glass that is. That'd be perfect when I've got like an Imperial Stout or something. And of course, another can. Oh, out of breath just from walking up the stairs. So, let's see. Joe says, I cry often, so I know it's over by the Smiths. Who knows why? Do you know what? Ironically relatable in the past sort of like year, I'd say. Shane Meadows is an absolute genius. I've been rewatching this England film and the TV show. Just finished off This Is England 90. Let's see. Rory has commented on something that happened at the end of the festival, which we'll get to, but they are indeed scummers. Goldrake said, you're making me hungry and I don't eat meat. I'm sure you can get moist vegan alternatives. Yeah, it's lovely and juicy when it's pink, says Rory. Oh, isn't it just? I haven't had that much juice down my chin. We won't go there. Pink Burgers up Glasgow Way give you mad cows. I'll get one too and join you. I like a good glass, says Joe. Well, cheers to you, sir. And, oh, Goldrake's on the Hacker Shore now. Lovely stuff. Which one are you on? Are you on the Hellers? Beautiful Hellers. I like their Doppelbock, the Animator, I think it is. That's a beautiful beer. They've got a good Keller beer as well. But yeah, Hacker Shore are great. Part of the Paulana group, aren't they? So you know you're getting a good product. Let's see. Indeed, I am. It's lovely. It is good. I'm glad we can get that in the UK quite cheap now. Beautiful beer. Oh, excuse me. Acid reflux like a motherfucker tonight. And I don't know if you can hear a child, but if you can, can't you? So let's pour this. But yeah, I want to make a conceited effort to go to as many Mikkeller venues as I possibly can, because I just love them. I just really love them. While I was at the festival, I had the Beer Geek Flat White, which I'd already had. It's not one of my favourites of the Beer Geek series that I've had, but I was like, I looked like a lost child because that's when I queued up, because they were pouring a 2018 a vintage of Spontan Triple Raspberry, I believe. And I was just like, I have to consume that because the Spontan series is just utter perfection. Unfortunately, because obviously we were going around the festival drinking other stuff, lost track of time, went up there, and there was like legitimately a queue just for that. And as I was walking past to join the queue, they just about ran out of it. So that was genuinely gutting for me, because I really wanted to try that. But hey ho. One second. Yeah, so Mikkeller, the Spontan triple blueberry. No, not blueberry, raspberry. But you know what? There'll always be opportunities, and I'd happily buy myself a bottle of it because the Spontan stuff is gorgeous. But I went to Daya. Can't remember what beer that I had. Virgin. Can't remember what beer I had there. Colonel. Didn't bother with the Colonel because we went there on Sunday, which we'll get to. Who else did I have really good beers on? The American bar was good, but I can't remember for the life of me many of them. Beer Merchants, they had an interesting bar. I had an Imperial Stout from Lervig there, which was nice. And they also had some good stuff in the fridges, including some other half for dirt cheap. I picked this up, which is the other half, more Nelson than all Nelson, more Nelson than all Nelson, more Nelson. I don't know what the actual proper name is, but it's a Nelson Sovereign hopped triple IPA, 10.5%. Picked that up, and a Strata IPA that I shared with Harry on Sunday evening at the hotel room. And like 2 cans of a half were like less than, I think they're about £16.50 for 2 cans of a half, one of them being a triple IPA. So could not turn my nose up at that. The other food places that we went to while we were at the festival, there was a cool hot dog place. Don't know the name of it, but that was a good hot dog. Like a proper, I'd imagine what like an American like hot dog stand hot dog would be like, just loaded with stuff. Then me and Craig also had, because there was a barbecue little place there as well, like pulled pork shoulder in a donut bun with like sugar on it. I don't think Craig was the biggest fan of that, but I kind of dug it. And that's when, as we were queuing up, just this guy turns around to me and says, "Oh, by the way, my dad absolutely loves watching your beer reviews. Can we get a photo of you?" I was like, okay. I was a little bit pissed by then. So that was good. And then the guy apologised. The actual dad apologised to me on Instagram. I was like, don't worry about it. And he actually gave me, ages ago, a really good suggestion for a Chris Butty. So you shall be seeing another Chris Butty show video at some point soon. Who else? I met the bearded beer bloke whilst at the festival as well, from Instagram. Talked to him for a little bit. That was good. Because I follow him on Instagram, but you know when you follow these beer accounts on Instagram and you don't really talk to them, so it was a little bit of a shock that someone knew who I was who didn't really. Do you know what I mean? So that was good. Talked to him for a little bit. He's on his travels now. He's at Overtone recently, drinking some other half triple Imperial Stouts. I was like, fucking hell, I'd love an Imperial Stout from other half. Who else did we drink? Had some Siren. Ansbach and Hobday had their sort of like, was it the London Black, which I was a little bit disappointed with, being that it was a mild. I think my beer of the festival was, there was a stand there that was doing beers from like Tuol, Malt Garden, and a couple of other breweries. And I had a Malt Garden Imperial Stout with coffee. And that was just pure magic. Wouldn't be able to tell you what it was called, but if you stumble across a Malt Garden Imperial Stout that's brewed with coffee, I think you're going to enjoy it. That was absolutely banging. There was a stall there from Soap and Suds, who specialise in imported American craft. Me and Harry visited that place a few times, to put it mildly. Best beer that I had there was brewery name, can't remember, but when I go to their website to do a beer order, because they were handing out flyers for 15% off, which I shall definitely take advantage of. It was called Dessert Cart, and it was, I can't remember what version it was, but that was just silky smooth, silly adjunct pastry stout, but done right and not in an annoying way. Harry had this like blueberry and apple like sour beer, which was just like, it was like drinking a fucking smoothie. It was beautiful. So they had some really good beers on. They had a nice triple IPA there and a couple of IPAs for some really interesting American craft breweries. There was an American cask stand as well, with the likes of Grim, Equilibrium, and a couple of other breweries. I had a couple of beers from there, and they were good. KCBC were there also. I think I had a double IPA from KCBC, which was just absolutely BANGING. Lovely stuff. We talked about Braybrook. Roscoe was determined for us to go get some Jaipur at the Thornbridge stand. Didn't really fancy it. That was when my wonderful Bueno shake by Umbod was ruined by a coffee wine, which I poured into the beer, which was a mistake, because the coffee wine itself, it's from that, what's that, like that winery or brand of wine, like the 15 Crimes, I think it is, where like each label is like a historic mugshot. And there was a coffee wine, which on its own was wonderful, but mixed in with Imperial Bueno shake, not the best combination, and I had to pour the beer away, which is never a good time. Who else did we have beers from of note? There was a lot of wonderful beer. Let's put it that way. If you like your rare American stuff, that was covered. I had a nice West Coast from Sierra Nevada that you don't really see. A little bit gutted that Sierra Nevada only had one beer at the Brewers Association stand, because I really wanted to try their triple IPA, which Adam and Craig tried in Manchester. But there were plenty of beautiful, beautiful beers at that stand. Who else? Big shout out to the guys over at Castles, or like the UK arm of Castles, because they've got I think their stuff's been contract brewed in UK for the UK market. In fact, get that can back because you've got stuff to talk about. Because Harry's former manager, Bryn, now works for Castles, so we were at that stand. I had a nice beak beer as well at the end of the session. They weren't technically allowed to pour any more beers because the session ended, but they were like just getting rid of the beer that they had. So I got a very generous pour of Popples, I think it was, from Beak, which was really good. But anyway, so we went to the Castle stand. Went there a few times, and talking to Bryn from Castle, who's like the sales guy now. And they had this, which is the triple cream milk stout, which I reviewed the other day, and it's fucking beautiful. And they also had a brut IPA, but they were also doing this thing where it was called a 50-50. So you get the brut IPA and the triple cream milk stout, a blend of the two. And I tell you what, it was really fucking good. And then at the end of the session on Sunday, we went back there, and they kindly gave me a can, and I shall definitely be buying this beer again, because it's not silly, it's not adjunct ridden, it's just a decadent higher ABV stout, 9% ABV, and I'll be interested to see what other Castle stuff we get here in the UK. Yes, I've got empty cans on the floor to the side of me, because I'm a fucking scumbag. And I like being a scumbag. So, yeah, festival was beautiful, man. There were some great breweries there. So at the end of the festival, as things were winding down, my feet were aching. Craig had the wonderful idea of when he was like sat down at a table, he'd take his shoes off so he could feel the cold concrete through his socks. So I remember distinctly after we'd finished with the Castles guys, we were like stood outside because I went back to them, doing something untowards, I would imagine. So as we were waiting there, I'm just up there because they had like a weird smoking situation. Well, on one of the walkways, it was like a tobacco stand, but it was also the designated smoking area. So I'm just there with Craig. We're a little bit merry. I'm there, stood in my fucking socks, having a cigarette. And then the guy from Vault City, who was also there, he was having a cig. And as he was walking away, he did this like stop and take. And he was like, "Are you the clueless drinker?" So, yeah. I didn't react like that. I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I am." And he goes, "Oh, nice to meet you, man. Really enjoyed your reviews of the stuff that we've done." So, "Oh, thank you." He then asks, "Did you have anything at the festival?" I was just like, "No." Obviously, I didn't say it like that. I was like, "No, I didn't." And I felt fucking awful. But one of the rules were I didn't want to have too many sour beers at the festival. Because as much as I like sour beers, it is a very long monologue. My reviews are pretty much just long monologues anyway. I've got quite a few comments, but a lot of it is back and forth. Let's continue with the story beat before you distract yourself. So I felt fucking shit because of that. But it's just like I didn't really want to have too many of those sorts of beers when I was at a festival. Do you know what I mean? He seemed okay. He laughed it off and walked away. But I will be getting more Vault City stuff on the channel because there's been some beautiful looking and sounding beers that they've brewed. So the end of the festival, there's obviously a bit of like a rush for people to get out, big groups, only one exit. When we get outside and we're starting to walk back to our hotel, just by chance, I fill my pockets and holy fucking shit, my wallet's disappeared. So I'm fucking, I don't think I showed it, but inside, I was panicking the fuck out. To the point where I was really having to stop myself from literally shitting myself in the middle of the street. Because when shit like that happens to me, boy oh boy, does the stomach get the brunt of it. So I'm like in this sort, oh shit, I've lost my wallet. Craig and like Harry, oh my god. And I'm like panicking. I'm retracing my steps, going back into the festival. I tell them, listen, I think I've lost my wallet or my wallet's been stolen. And they're like, oh, don't worry, calm down, come with us. So I went with them into this like lost and found room. They were like, that brown wallet that was found, do you know where it is? I was like, oh, thank God, someone's handed in this wallet. Even though there were thousands of people there, or at least a good amount of hundreds. It was fucking packed, by the way. The chances of it being my wallet, very slim. And they're like, I don't know, because such and such has gone home now. So I was like, oh, fuck's sake. It had my debit card, my credit card, my hotel room key in there. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do now? If it was in like Manchester or Liverpool, I could easily have a family member like book a taxi to pick me up and then they settle it. But I was like, I'm in fucking London right now. Totes Serial. Hey dude, how you doing, Totes Serial? I've not ignored Any others? Any other people's comments, by the way? I think I lost weight that evening, but I was fucking panicking, shitting myself. So many, sort of like scenarios going through my head. I was like, hotel room won't let me back in because I've lost the key. I'm going to be sleeping on the streets in London. We've got another full day. My train tickets are in my wallet. What the fuck am I going to do? Unfortunately, they weren't able to find the wallet. I'm still in ongoing conversation about that. They're going to get back to me next week because obviously everyone's back in Edinburgh now where we are bearer based. At this point, right now, I think wallet's gone. It's fucking gone. It's gone. But straight away, cancelled my debit card, cancelled my credit card. Craig and Harry, I don't know how the fuck they put up with me that evening, but they were like, "So don't worry, we'll get this sorted. No need to panic. We'll make sure that you know, we can cover you for tomorrow. We'll get your hotel room sorted. Don't worry. This shit happens. Cancel your cards," which I did. So I was just like, this is, at that point, it's like, this has completely fucking destroyed the whole weekend now. When things like that happen, to me, that's it. That's it. That's fucking it. Might as well jump in front of a train. I would never do that, obviously, but you know what I mean. So I was like, oh, fucking hell. I'm going to have to tell people that this has happened as well. But Craig and Harry, I could not have asked for two better people to keep me fucking sane. After that, they calmed me down completely. They got me all sorted. I owed them a hell of a lot, just in general, for that. Could not ask for better people, really. And I've said this time and time again, that whole group who I've come to know over the past, like, God, quite a few years now, really, they have pulled me out of the deepest, darkest pit of despair multiple times. And I could not be more thankful. The fucking cunts, the lot of them, don't get me wrong, but they're my cunts. And I would do anything I possibly could for those boys. I genuinely mean that. And I don't think I show my appreciation enough for those guys. I really, really don't. I'd be absolutely lost. I mean, I've got good close friends in the real world every day, day-to-day stuff. And I've got a wonderful family who will support me through thick and thin, and who did, obviously. But man, I could not ask for better people. I really, really couldn't. I hope they don't watch this, because then they'll be fucking sticking their fingers down the throat and vomiting it all up, because it's all sickly, cute stuff. But because we're men and we don't talk about shit like that. But yeah, I was just like, internally, I was like, what more could happen? What more could happen? Because about a week or so before that, I was a victim of card fraud with illegitimate like withdrawals from Ladbrokes, which they sorted out. Halifax must fucking love me. So yeah, so that was interesting. As we're going back, we go to this. We've been to the shop a couple of times now. Very interesting beer selection for like an Asian shop. And we did a live stream on the Friday with a couple of lagers. I picked up Lost and Grounded Hellers, which I drank on the train home on Monday. But we were in there, and like Harry and Craig, like, do you want anything? Do you need anything? And then I think it was Craig saw that they had Augustina Lager Beer Hell in a tiny Asian supermarket. And he was like, Peter, I'm getting you this. Drink it when you get home. Don't worry about it. we're going to look after you. And boy, did they fucking do so. And I could not be more thankful. I really could not be more thankful. And that saved what was a wonderful trip up to that point from being an absolute fucking, like, a mental breakdown. I was at that point where I could easily just flip the fuck out. But thankfully, I've got great people around me. But yeah, man. And then on the Sunday, so at this point, I'm basically just like a fucking Craig and Harry were my sugar daddies on Sunday. We went to the Colonel Tap Room, which again, I can't do that thing where you like click and do that, but just imagine there's a clicking sound, which for me was a high point. I know I did remember. I think that was just my my terrible, terrible hands making horrible sounds. But yeah, so on Sunday we went to the Colonel, which was ticked off the list. I've always wanted to go to Colonel. I'm a big, big lover of Colonel. We had some nice beers there. Highlight for me was the Imperial Brown Stout. Can't remember which version it was. Tell you what, this beer's really good, but it sure as shit is giving me the burps. So I went to the Colonel, had the brown stout, which was just tasting. Fucking hell, what a stout that is. Then, obviously, because Bermondsey Mile, we went to. It almost sounds German, that doesn't it? Bermondsey Mile. Don't do gestures like that when you're making faux German sounds, Peter. You know better, especially with your blonde hair and blue eyes. We went to Brew by Numbers. I think we had a couple in there. Then we went more central and went to Beer and Burgers for technically burger number 4, and that was a good burger as well. Didn't hit the high notes of a Bleecker burger. I'd say it's tied for second between the one we had in Goose Island and the one we had in Beer and Burger. I had what's that Omnipollo beer? Is it Zodiac or something like that? So I had that with my burger. That was nice. That was a nice combination. And it's a good beer. That. What's it called? The label's like, it's a black label, but it's got green illustrations, like something in the middle and then something around the edges. I can't remember what it's called, but that was good. I'd not had that for ages. I was like, do you know what? A sensible Omnipollo beer on tap. What more could you ask for? So we did that. And then we got the bus to, I can't remember the location nor the name of the pub itself, but Harry mentioned this pub a little bit earlier on in the group that we're in. Let's see, just bear with me because I want to give this pub a shout out because it was fucking amazing. Oh, loads of Beer Hooligan photos. Oh, Beer Hooligan Lederhosen. And Boy Racers. The Earl of Essex. The Earl of Essex pub. It's like on the outside, like trad as fuck looking pub. Which isn't a bad thing. I do like a good trad pub. And we went to a really good pub in between these sessions on the Friday and Saturday, which I'll talk about in a minute. Need to get the stream back up. And of course, YouTube's reset itself because it's a cunt. And that's a horrible live thumbnail that I have there. But hey ho. When you're this fat and ugly, what's it matter? A good shag though. But anyway, Yeah, so the Earl of Essex. Proper, like, traditional locals pub, but with a really interesting lineup of craft beers from all over the place. Had a wonderful pickled egg in there, complemented beautifully, I might add, by Seabrook's cheese and onion crisps, which could quite possibly be the best cheese and onion crisps in England, and there's no northern bias there. But that was a good flavour combination. Seabrook's cheese and onion crisps with a pickled egg. There was like a small band playing in there. There's like two old men and a woman. The woman's on the piano, old man on guitar, old man singing the classics. What more do you want? Great beers. I had Chapters spiced porter, or Dead Man's Hand, I think it's called. I was just looking at the comment there. But that was good. Great atmosphere. It's just like one of those places where, just like the Mikkeller Bar in London, if you live locally, there's nowhere else you'd want to go on like a daily basis. Really good, lovely stuff. My sort of pub. And it seems to have a lot of locals in there as opposed to just like trendy. Because that's one thing I did notice while I was at the festival. I tell you what, there aren't half so many pretentious, dweeby, annoying cunts who like craft beer. Do you know what I mean? Like these fucking simps who have like a baggy t-shirt on. They're skinny as fuck. And then they've got the t-shirt tucked into like high-waisted chinos or something like that, rolled up. And then with like the t-shirt like pulled out a bit so it protrudes around the edges. And I'm just like, you fucking soy boy cook. I pointed that out as we were walking to the festival on Sunday, and lo and behold, someone fucking walked past as I was saying it. But because they're such a dweebish individual, I'd have knocked the shit out of them with one punch. I wouldn't. That's just me being a dick. But yeah, there weren't half some annoying fucking posy cunts out and about at that festival. I mean, I know I'm pretentious. I know I'm hipster as fuck. But at least I acknowledge that. And I like the absurdity of it. But yeah, there were no sort of like people like that in this pub, which I really liked. And speaking of which, I'm going to be ending the video here now because it's gone on for long enough and I'm really hungry. I've got 2 pies in the oven and I'm not eating any. That's a problem. But yeah, there was a pub. Don't know what it was called. We went there a couple of times because Roscoe was with us. Again, traditional, local. It was like right smack bang in like a residential area. Interesting little selection on tap on cask, and it had a pool table. Harry kicked the shit out of me on pool twice, but I'm not too proud to admit defeat. But that was good. Good traditional beer. Nice packet of crisps. But they don't half like their what's that Leicester-based crisps company? I want to say Young's, but it's not Young's. I saw that a lot in London. It's like, where's the London crisp makers? Why aren't they in the pubs? Do you know what I mean? Although in the Fuller's pub, I did notice a brand called like the Brown Bag, but that just reminded me of that like traditional. Was it Brannigan's, which was like the honey and mustard, which was stupidly fucking strong, but stupidly amazing. Like Crisps in a Brown Bag was the company. I don't remember, but yeah, that was a good pub. and they're like proper, like old school Londoner men. And you could tell they'd known each other for years, and they go there like every fucking week and just talk shit and have a good time. And the funny thing is, I've been to plenty of pubs around the country, especially some of those like more local oriented pubs, even like round here in my direct vicinity. You know, those pubs that you don't really go to, but you'll go to if like, oh, should we go in there? Yeah, might as well. And as soon as you step in, you can see people eyeing you up as you're walking around. Didn't get any of that in these pubs that we went into in London. Even if I'm a northern cunt, they didn't care. Just did not care. Just went about the business. And I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's it really. Aside from losing my wallet, which had everything I needed, I had such a wonderful time. I really, really did. I would highly, highly recommend the London Craft Beer Festival. Wouldn't necessarily recommend doing the whole fucking thing, just because. Although that being said, my liver didn't suffer too much, and I didn't really have too many bad hangovers. My worst hangover, ironically, was after the first night when we hadn't been to the festival and we didn't drink that much. Let's see. We've got quite a few comments. Toad cereal. Let's see. Joe says, I guess you shit yourself when scared. It's so you're lighter when you're running away. It certainly is. Thankfully, I didn't have to run away this time. I mean, usually I'm chasing someone, but we won't get there. Goldrake says, damn, that sucks. SpongeBob, Craig and Harry are nice lads. Completely agree. Let's see. Joe says, when the Taliban invade, you're going to freak out, man. I probably will. And you've got a friend in me, Joe. Taliban Tala says, hello, my friends. Allah Akbar. Oh, did he say that? Fuck it. Joe, I'm going to say, with this whole, like, Afghanistan Taliban situation going off now, you can make the worst jokes about it. You can make the sickest, the silliest, the most genuinely funny and witty jokes about it, but also be absolutely like devastated and shocked about what's going on. I'm sick of seeing this fucking reactionary, oh, you can't joke about that. Yes, you can. You can joke about abortions, you can joke about cancer, you can joke about postnatal depression. Weird selection. You can joke about suicide. You can joke about whatever the fuck you want. Because if you can't find humour or absurdity in the things that life throws at us, then what else do you have? Do you know what I mean? And I know people go through shit. I mean, I lost a family member earlier this year. I was still making jokes about him, or like making really offhand, quite sick jokes at times, which he would have actually found quite funny. You can still say shit like that, but also be directly affected by the thing that you're joking about. Do you know what I mean? But anyhow, I won't carry on talking about that because I don't want to get my YouTube cancelled. But good evening, Taliban Untala. Says, right, Taliban, not bad, thanks. Thomas says hi to Taliban. Taliban says hey. Hey, it's the Taliban, says Goldrake. You will tell the story to your grandkids one day. Yeah, if I want to put them to sleep. I'm a shit storyteller. Don't tell the lads, but I like the occasional beer. Your secret's safe with me. And we all saw that you had that bacon sandwich, so you're definitely secret safe with me. Goldrake's asking me what he drinks. Well done, Taliban. That's something that could be taken out of context, me saying that. I don't mind. There you go. Taliban don't mind the Becks. I'm drinking an Pass AASS Pale Ale. Not sure if that's an abbreviation of a far-right fringe group. Who fucking cares? He doesn't half go on, this fella. Well, yeah, I think Skelmersdale's screaming for a human tragedy, so bring your belt if you want to. Joe asks if Goldrake's on the run. Not today. Eastern Beerers Week, says Univ Universal. Oh, Joe Biden's coming. Anyway, I'm off to give my go-to ride. Take it easy. Don't wear a condom. Oh yeah, I sent that Harry BH First Oktoberfest at the pub. Keep yourself for tomorrow. No, cutting down a little. I'll be dead by 20 if I carry on. Stop drinking. All your drinking companions are fair weather friend. Colours drink, says Univ Universal. I'll drink whatever the fuck I want to drink until life tells me otherwise. Only selfish people live over 40, says Joe. Like me, says Thomas. You're not over 40, Thomas. Jesus, you're not over 40, surely. All the good people live fast and die early. It seems that's very true. Very true. Thomas says thanks. Univ Universal says move on. Joe says Youngs, as in Carl Jung. Definitely. Apparently, I need to move on from that topic. I don't know what topic that was. This guy can ribble for England. I certainly can. Got to head off now, mate. Nice talking to you as always. Catch you later. That's what Goldrake said an hour ago. Not the wallet again, says Joe. Mate, it's a burden. It's a burden. Take it easy, Goldrake, rabbling. Well, you're still here, Joe. I'm joking. Borski says, off top with nice background, some decent movies there. Can't beat the classics. Can't beat the classics. Evening, Borski. If you went to a pub for a particular girl without invitation, that is stalking. I've never been to a pub for a particular girl without invitation. So, henceforth, I've never stalked. Are you going to get back on the Grindhouse movie channel, says Borski. Just had pie and gravy delivered. Always good. Let's see. I get it back to the Grindhouse movie channel. I'm not coming back to the channel, but I do the film stuff here every now and then on this channel. So if you look up Libidomania on the channel, you should see a few videos now. Univ Universal says most boozers like yourself have a gift of the gab. See, that's the thing though. If I was actually sat in the pub and a stranger came over to talk to me, I'd be like, what the fuck do you want me to say? I'm not like this when I'm actually out drinking. Just rather sit on my own, or if I'm with people. I don't want you people coming over to me. I don't like it when you're out drinking with mates and then they bring like friends of like their friends over or like family members. I'm like, I don't fucking want this. I hate shit like that. AASS is a brewery in Norway. Okay. I've still got a feeling there's like something untoward with the abbreviation of AASS. Not just because it's got SS there. And then James says, hey up again. Hey up, James. Anyway, so that was it, really. I was just bored shitless, like a lonely housewife on a Friday afternoon as her husband's on a business trip having sex with people of a different colour than him. But yeah, thanks for joining me. That was just sort of my talk about London Craft Beer Fest. There were other things I wanted to talk about, but I can't be arsed now. And as I said, it was only supposed to be like a 20-minute stream, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is not a bad lager at all. Even though I did say it gave me a little bit of acid reflux. Well, that's probably just like an undiagnosed health problem that's going to kill me within the next 5 years. You just take your life in your hands. It's not an abbreviation, it's pronounced Oars. Okay. Yeah, I've come to that point where I've become so fucking pessimistic about everything in the world, where you never know if you're going to be set up to say something that's controversial. But fuck it. Fuck it. Make jokes about what you want, say the most disgusting things, you have the right to do so. Whether or not I agree with what you say, that's not for me to be offended by. Do you know what I mean? There's been things that I've been offended by loads over the years, but I'd much rather have that. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to end it now because this is reflux. I get that with wait until the gout starts. I've probably got gout and I've not realised. Reflux can lead to throat cancer. Just to cheer you up. The treatment will make me lose weight, I suppose. I don't know. Late in the pub, someone tells you a ghost story. You get scared and take a taxi home. You look at the driver and see that same ghost. You are on your own, sir. Oh, I'm always chasing ghosts. Chasing ghosts with alcohol. Univ, you're a wonderful troll, and you've kept me entertained this evening. Full respect to you, sir. But yeah, so that's this live stream on a Friday evening. Bit of an impromptu one. Eating too much biscuit can give you throat cancer too. What can't give you throat cancer nowadays? Do you know what I mean? Like, everything is like a detriment to your health nowadays. So live life the way you want to. If you die of a painful death because of your lifestyle at the age of 40, so be it. If you live a healthy life, a boring healthy life until you're like 96 years old when you're having your arse wiped by, someone else, so be it. You've got to do what you got to do. Biscuits, not having that, says James. Yeah, us Northerners will have nothing said about biscuits. And Universal says, Joe, enjoy your food, bro. Fuck it. Anyway, I'm going to end this stream here. Thank you guys for watching, sticking around. Don't know what the fuck this stream was. It devolved into something, but it is what it is. No more heroes, the Stranglers getting on. You, sir, have good taste. Do I actually have the Stranglers on this phone? Let's see. Stranglers, for me, quite possibly, even though I was a Clash fan. Like, Clash for me were like the best band to ever exist. But then the Stranglers came along, and it's hard. Do I have any Stranglers on here? I've got Stranglers, a big massive playlist on my Spotify. I'm sounding like one of those people who's like, I've got this like really rare selection of songs from like 1964 from artists hailing out of Bournemouth. Yeah, you won't have heard any of these. Do you know those people? But I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. No more heroes. I won't play that for longer than that because I don't want to get a copyright strike. My sister will meet you. Well, if she's as sloppy as that burger that I had recently, then I'm happy to meet her. Huge Strummer fan. Nothing beats Arctic Monkeys, says James. Yeah, one of my icons. I got into the Clash as a teenager, like maybe a year before Joe Strummer died. And what I would do to have been at that gig, was it in Brixton? Where was it a Mescalaro's gig and Mick Jones went on stage with him? Fuck, man, that would have been beautiful. Nothing beats Arctic Monkeys. Get Into the Sea. Although Alex Turner is really fucking cool. But I just don't like it. Arctic Monkeys is like music. And this is no disrespect. That's it. You joke about what you want to joke. Yeah, it's like Arctic Monkeys are like the bands that it's the band that the chavs in high school ripped the shit out of you for, but then ended up loving and having infinitely more successful lives than even though they were fucking cunts in high school. And I sound like I'm someone who is one step away from shooting up a school, but I'm not. Let's see, but fancy the Bournemouth sound. Yeah, do you know what? That would actually be an interesting playlist, to be fair. And love post-clash stuff. Yeah, I got that Joe Strummer 001 compilation. That one that they released fairly recently, though, seems to have pretty much the same songs on it. That recent Joe Strummer compilation. So I was like, I've already bought this. But yeah, do love a bit of Mescalaros. Mondo Bongo, fucking hell. Mondo Bongo is just a beautiful song, and yeah, their rendition of Redemption Song fucking chokes me up every time I hear it, especially with the music video that they made with the Joe Strummer mural. I think that was one of the probably the first celebrity death that genuinely affected me, because at that time I'd recently discovered the Clash and fallen in love with them, and yeah, I mean, Big Audio Dynamite. I got to see Big Audio Dynamite live, which was just the fact that I got to see Mick Jones on stage playing his guitar was probably one of my favourite live music highlights. And then also getting to see Hugh Cornwell a couple of years ago. Got to meet him. Awkwardly gave him a hug. He seems very brittle. And I think he was a little bit annoyed that I hugged him, but it is what it is. And James is quite gutted by Kurt Cobain, to be fair. Redemption Song. I searched Bernie's music, listened, and left a comment. That's all Western sentimental music, and only the languages Brunese. So I think on that note, I shall end this stream here, because now we're talking about music, I could go on for hours and hours. I can't do that because I'm hungry, and I've got work tomorrow, so I've got shit to do, folks. But thank you for watching. You all take care. Stay safe. Thank you to the new faces, not the band, who have joined this stream. James, you're a legend. Definitely need to get something sorted for Manchester. And yeah, you all take care. Stay safe. Have a lovely weekend. And don't let the Taliban win. Well, you have a pie on the table. Exactly. And it's going cold. And I'm from the northwest. So you get your shit together, Univ. You get your shit together.